Alright, hi people, it's Shakes here, and I'm here to do an unboxing and review for you guys of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger, aka the Silver Wild Force Ranger. I really don't understand why, they, went with these, uh, or they went with this, uh, you know, really, alternate, thing for the Lunar Wolf Ranger. Whereas in Gal Ranger, the Sentai source material to Wild Force, they actually called them Gao and then the color of their suit. In this case, it's Gao Silver. So yeah, and but whatever. Pretty much sure that they call the main five their color. It's just that they mainly go by their animal designations like Blazing Lion, Noble Tiger, Surging Shark, Iron Bison, and Soaring Eagle. But granted, also, he usually says Howling Wolf, so yeah, although in Gal Ranger was Sparkling Wolf, and I don't understand what that's a reference to, but whatever. At least it's from what I've seen of clips that have English subtitles to them. But yeah. So yeah, and you guys may also recognize that on the channel I have been doing the unboxings and reviews for the SMP Shokugan modeling project, Gal Ranger mechs / the Megazords. You can go watch those as well. And it's good that they're getting at least one figure, although apparently I guess there's going to be another one by the end of the year for Wild Force Blue as well. It's like it's good that for the 20th anniversary of Wild Force, they're starting to do Wild Force figures. I really wish that they would do more Time Force figures as well, because we have Time Force Red, but we have not gotten at least the Quantum Ranger and Time Force Pink. I would think that that would be a thing that they would want to do, considering Time Force is one of the more beloved and well-remembered series. And yeah. And Wild Force is one of my favorite seasons of the series. It's not quite as good as I remember it when I was a kid, but it's still good in my opinion for the most part. It does more good than bad. So yeah, even though the whole Kite / Animus storyline was really bad, but yeah. But here we go. Enough of my rambling. Here we go with the box. And I remember someone on one of the more recent videos said insert however many minutes before the actual unboxing. Skip to the unboxing if you actually don't really want to hear me rambling. Just go down to the bar at the bottom of the video and then skip to where I'm actually moving stuff around, so you know that's where I start really getting into the review and unboxing part of it. Whatever. Anyways, so here we go with the box and everything. So yeah, and I really do like this box. I might keep it, but we'll see. Because I've been getting rid of the boxes because I don't really need them. I've been putting them in recycling. So yeah. But here you have the Ranger right here. I like the rendition of the wolf in this picture, so that's another reason I may keep it. You got the Wild Force logo right here. The first season to have the logo, not have the Saban logo on top, because it was sold to Disney before they started making the series, or as it was in early production. So yeah. Power Rangers Lightning Collection, Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger. So yeah, then another version of the picture from the side. And then on the back you got a picture of the prototype of the figure, which unfortunately has only 5 stripes, I believe. Yeah, it looks like it's only 5. And then I think, this looks like silver boots here, but yeah, 5 stripes, I believe, right there. 2, 3. Where's that 6? No, that's 6 on the prototype. So they managed to correct the prototype pictures that go on the boxes. Although, basically this figure was almost completely screwed up when they actually, I think showed off early pictures of the figure, and I'll point out why in a second. So here we go with the effect piece that you get with the figure, which is this red explosion piece. I think they've had this before, just in a different plastic color, with some of the other figures. So yeah, right here you have the hands, which thankfully are just like, they're just open claw hands, but cool thing about them is, and I assume this will be the same thing with the other Wild Force figures as well, they have the claws on the ends of the hands, or the fingers, which is nice. They're not colored in at all, because in the Gal Ranger footage, they rarely had these in Wild Force, but in the Gal Ranger footage, they, at least as far as I can tell, for the US footage, but in Gal Ranger, they had the claws on the ends of the gloves be gold, I believe, for the main figures, or for the main Rangers. I think maybe for this, they had them be silver to match his suit, but I can't remember right now. Also, Wild Force is currently available for streaming on the Power Rangers official YouTube channel. All 40 episodes, including the really good crossover episodes with Time Force and Forever Red. So, it's really good. Go check those out if you haven't yet. They're really good. And I actually rewatched the entirety of the arc with Zanaku and everything. It's a little rushed. It's a little faster than I think it's a little faster than in Gal Ranger. It's a little faster than I think it should be in regards to the pacing, but it's honestly a pretty good short story arc. So, yeah. Has a lot of shades of Tommy's stuff from Mighty Morphin, which is kind of it's kind of what is the word I'm looking for? Unintentional, because they were just following the Gal Ranger stuff, but maybe Gal Ranger took influence from Mighty Morphin for that. So, yeah, and it wouldn't be surprising considering later in Kyoryuger, they would do a very similar thing with one of its villains. So, yeah, just minus the flute and everything. So here we go with the two versions of the Lunar Q, I think it's called. Both in its Saber mode and the Sniper mode. Which, not exactly the most detailed of, or the best in terms of sword and gun weapons that the franchises has ever had in terms of both Sentai and Power Rangers, but these work, and the fact that they're also in their modes is actually pretty good. The prop was pretty what do you call it? Simple as well, like simplistic. So not really too much to screw up here. I'm pretty sure that they missed some paint apps, but it's fine in all honesty. They didn't give us a short version, and that's because they didn't include the holster for some reason to any extent on his suit, and I don't understand that whatsoever, considering other teams and Rangers have had the holsters on their suits for their guns and swords and whatever, so that's honestly just weird. But they got the paint where they needed to, like the blue and the gold on both sides too. It's not like the Dino Charge Morpher Blaster things where they only paint a little bit on one half or one side of the gun, but then completely forget to paint the other side. Considering that this was a pretty easy, or it seems like a pretty easy paint job, I'm not necessarily surprised, but yeah, and then for the rest of it, it's just in this like silverish grayish plastic, which is completely fine in all honesty. It matches the Ranger suit, so it's fine. So we got a civilian head for Merrick, and it doesn't really look like him. It just kind of looks like one of those. It just kind of looks like a generic, like early 2000s, late 90s sort of boy band type thing, which they were kind of going for with his fashion, or with his looks and everything. Like they had the dyed hair at the front and the short hair as well, and he kind of just looked like he belonged in like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC or something like that. So yeah, they were going with that because it was 2002. You can forgive some things, and it's pretty easy to overlook considering like this show and everything. But yeah, so then here we go with the Lunar Wolf Ranger figure, which I gotta say, I think that they did really well with capturing all the details that they needed to with this suit. The suits are decently simplistic for the Wild Force / Gal Ranger suits, and I personally think that they captured it pretty well. They have a pretty striking look to them, and I really do love the Wild Force / Gower Ranger suits from both franchises, especially in the HD seasons with Gokaiger and Super Mega Force, especially Super Mega Force, because I like the way that the Power Ranger suits look better, because like they're made of a better material, and the amount of I think it's the saturation that they use, and on top of that, the cameras and the filters and everything that they use for the US footage makes it just look so much better than the Sentai footage, especially with the fabric that these US suits are made out of. Versus the Sentai suits, which are all just shiny, the US footage, or the US suits in the current seasons, although this has been going on for a while, are not made of a shiny material, and I think that just makes the suits look better, makes them pop better, especially with the warmer colors and the filters and everything that they use. So, yeah, unfortunately, we haven't seen the Silver or the Lunar Wolf Ranger suit in Super Mega Force, but we did see it in Gokaiger a bit. So that's that. But I just really love the Lunar Wolf Ranger suit, and I think that that's probably why they released him first before the rest of the team. Honestly, it makes sense. A lot of Six Rangers and extra heroes and everything from Sentai and Power Rangers usually stick out pretty well because they have really well designed suits. So I understand releasing the Six Ranger suit. Doesn't explain why they haven't released the Quantum Ranger, but whatever. Hope that they'll get back to Time Force soon. But yeah. So basically, with this figure though, this is what I said I'd get to a bit ago. There are like 4 different variants of this figure that unfortunately you can get depending on what figure you got, based on, I guess, when they produce the figures. Because, like I said, in regards to like early release promo pictures for the figure, not only did the stripes only have 5 on it, but a lot of the figures the early figures had like white boots instead of silver, and this doesn't make any sense. This didn't make any sense at all. So a lot of people pointed out on social media that was a big thing. And truth be told, I'd be okay if I got the white boots, but they really should have had the 6th stripe. And like I said, they don't have the holster for some reason for his lunar collar, so it doesn't make any, and that doesn't make any sense. One thing I would want them to do is maybe have an updated version of the figure with the holster, but I doubt that's ever going to happen. I was going to say maybe include a new version of the belt with the holster, but considering this seems like molded into the plastic of the figure, or it's just really hard to get off, that's also not a possibility either. So yeah, but I'm just glad I got a version with the 6 stripes, as you guys can see. I got the 6 stripes and I got the silver boots, which is good. I ordered this from Amazon, which I think because of when they shipped it, I was able to, or I was probably more lucky to get one of these, because there are 4 variants out right now. This, with the silver boots and 6 stripes, the original version from the promo pictures, which is the 5 stripes and the white boots, the 6 stripes and the white boots, or the silver boots and the 5 stripes. So it really depends on, I guess, when you order it or who you get it from. They did manage to catch it as they were making them, so hopefully there should be more that are corrected than not, and if you do get the uncorrected version, maybe contact Hasbro support or the support of the store that you ordered from, or go back to the store. Just make sure you get the right one if you're looking for this in a physical store, as opposed to ordering it online. So yeah, man, this is the longest video I've made. But for one of these, but yeah, I'm just saying right there. So I think a lot of the details are actually really good. I think they actually did the helmet really well. Some people complain for the helmets being a little bit more narrow than they should be. Like they're like thinner than they should be. I think this is actually really fine. And I think the paint apps are actually really well done, and they captured the helmet pretty well. The only thing about the helmet that I will say is weird is the this part right here under the visor, it just looks like whatever the hell whiteout is made out of. For the paint right here, it looks like they just had whoever is working at the factory that they make these at, just apply a thing for like basically kind of like a temporary tattoo where they just put it on, wet it down, and it's already wet, and then it just keep it on there for a second and then rip it off when it's more dry. Or maybe they just had a brush and just applied a thin layer of this white paint right there. Or maybe it is white out. But it just looks a little weird, mainly because there's like a circle. I think you guys can possibly see it. There's like a circle, like some weird like air bubbles right there. So it does stick out a little bit, but it's overall fine. Realistically, if in fact from a distance I can't really notice it too well unless I'm looking for it. But yeah, but the rest I think is actually pretty good with the white gloves, the blue right here, the blue against the silver, which is a nice paint color, or which is a nice contrasting color on the suit. The wolf right here, like I said, on the box looks pretty good. Everything just looks pretty good on this figure. And the stripes actually come back on the back, which is nice. Usually, or on some figures, you don't really get that, them extending to the back. And the blue as well comes on the back, which I actually really like. I actually really think that this figure turned out pretty well. If you can get the corrected version, I do recommend it. It's actually pretty good. So in regards to articulation, you can move the head in a 360 here, as well as backwards and forwards. I kind of forgot to mention that in the other reviews. Shoulders was a little stiff, so make sure you just like lightly move parts of these figures. Just make sure they don't stay stiff. But you can move these back and forth for the arms, for the shoulder parts right there. Shoulders going a little bit over a 90-degree angle, which is cool. You can move them in a 360 this way. The elbows are on a double ball joint, which feels a little loose on this particular figure. The arms, or the hands, you can move in a 360 this way, as well as back and forth. Torso, you can move all the way over here, and that's actually really, really nice in regards to the fact that you can hear it snap. So yeah. The legs, you can move like this at an almost 90-degree angle, 360 like that, double ball joint in the knees and everything, which is nice. And the feet, you can move back and forth, a little stiff, but I'd rather have that than loose. And you can move the feet side to side like this, so yeah. But yeah, so overall, not a bad figure. I actually really, really like it. It's probably one of my favorite figures thus far, and I have like over 40 of them. So yeah, in this this specific line, I can't wait to get the entire Wild Force team, because I used to have figures of Wild Force Red and Blue for the original toy line in Mighty Morphin. I think I still have Wild Force Blue somewhere that came with like a blue version of the Wild Force Rider, if you guys remember those at all. And I did have a version of Red with the Wild Force Rider, but the Wild Force Rider's like wing broke. So yeah, I think I have another figure of Wild Force Red as well that came with a version of the Isis Megazord that had like these like gray accents on the arms, as well as the boot, as well as like gray boots. I think I have that somewhere. I'd have to look. But yeah, I don't know where the figure of the regular Wild Force Red went, but you know, whatever. So yeah, if you want, you can put the head right on the ball joint where the helmet was, and I think personally, it actually looks pretty good with the suit. It looks a little smaller than it should be, but overall it fits on the ball joint for the head and everything. But yeah, there's a good snap to it as well when it goes on. So is the helmet. So this is actually a pretty well done figure overall, at least the one that I got. Your mileage may vary. But yeah, so basically, I do recommend this figure. It's actually pretty good. So yeah. If you can find one that is the corrected version with the 6 stripes and the silver boots, or just the 6 stripes, go ahead and get it. It's actually pretty good. So yeah, guys, not much else to say. So links in the description, all my shit. Subscribe if you want, and I'll see you guys in the next one.